answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Here we are. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Folks, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You probably heard that phrase. Well, it's true for SHTF as well, folks. The more things change, the more they keep doing the same stupid shit that they continue to do day after day. I want to start this video by saying thanks to Michael Brown for an awesome 556 Cash App donation that came through just after we did Monday Night Live last night. Thanks again, Michael, for your great support. Thank you to everybody out there for the great support. That goes from, well, for everybody. Thank you. And truly, without you, Jolene can't be here. Ooman can't be here. I can't be here. Crispy Bacon, Vaughn, Kaz, none of the R Syndicate, all the great Johns out there, and the Bonnies, and everybody else, folks, we need y'all. Anyways, let's get into this. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? You bet. That's a fact. And it truly is just unbelievable. Henry Kissinger, folks, in, I think, the American political opinion of people who love freedom, you think of Kissinger as a low-life, dirtbag, scumbag from the 1970s who has worked and continued to work behind the scenes for decades, right? Pushing the military-industrial complex, the globalist Illuminati Bilderberg plan, right? When I learned about him heavily in the 90s, I thought, man, this guy, why doesn't he just give up and go live on a beach, sip pina coladas, and do whatever, you do when you retire? Well, he's still in the game, but now he's afraid, folks. He's concerned about what's going on with Russia. A couple of months ago now, he said, look, it's time to back off of Russia and Putin before we cause so much damage that it hurts, well, them. See, these people, folks, use war, conflict, strife, divisive policies. They need an enemy for everyone to look at, to hate. You got to demonize that guy over there so that you can pretend to be the good guys, right? The good guy, bad guy, good cop, bad cop, right? Well, all cops police people and all governments tax people, right? So they want to pretend like they're the good taxers and the good cops in the U.S. government, which is controlled by the globalists. Well, anyways, Kissinger's like, look, you're going to do irreparable damage. That's going to take not just a year, but decades and decades and decades to get over. Well, the process, the technique by which they perform and control everything, folks, that is their problem right now. It truly is, folks. That's their problem. They won't give it up. In fact, they're going to go even harder. They think that, well, a little gasoline on the fire will ignite those flames, and we really want what we want. So let's pour not just another gallon, but an entire tanker full of fuel. I'm talking about what is happening over between Russia, Ukraine, and the proxy war fighting that's going on by the U.S., NATO, European Union, and the British Empire, if you want to call it that. It's incredible that they're still not learning. Well, as I said, Kissinger's scared. Well, a British reconnaissance plane violated Russian airspace and was escorted out of Russia by fighter jets. Unbelievable. Why are they in Russian airspace? They're British. I mean, it's easy to underplay the British Isles. But at one point, those little islands there had colonies worldwide. They controlled, folks, China. They controlled America. They controlled India. They controlled much of the planet. Well, of course, they lost that status, but they're still a major player. And here they are antagonizing Russia. Do we really need World War III? Do we really need the risk of military and maybe even nuclear confrontation? Do we really need that? The answer is no. You and I, we don't need it. What do we want? How about this? Freedom, stability, the building blocks of life, right? Having a home, having food, having a job, having an economy, having some peace, having some safety. Globally, these globalists, folks, they don't care about that. Unbelievable, right? And then we've got this. Russia is now warning. That's right, folks. A direct military clash is possible. It's possible. There's what we've had over the weekend is explosions of fuel, ammunition sites on Russian bases in Crimea. And it's not an accident, right? One explosion is, well, could have had an accident, right? One system failure, that could be an accident. When you have multiple instances of the same types of thing happening, right? Fuel tanks explode, and then fuel tanks explode, and then fuel tanks explode. It starts to really look, right? They're using the same technique, and it is becoming painfully obvious. So the media in the West, that is in the United States, says, oh, they're having problems with Russian fuel tanks just exploding for no reason. And then Russia does what? Russia could retaliate, folks. And anything that happens in Europe or Ukraine, the media in the West, in the US, will immediately say, Russia did it, right? But it's easy for you and I to look, or it should be easy for us to go, you know, they're blowing up a bunch of tanks. Now an ammunition depot has exploded. It looks like sabotage. It looks like the use of long-term or long-range missiles are being employed. This is intentional provocation of an enemy that is capable of doing far more damage because they're already existing, living, and even to an extent thriving in an economic and political environment that has been pushed down, held down. Russia's been beaten on, folks, while you and I have been living La Vida Loca through the 90s, the early 2000s, and then the teens. Yeah, we had our moments. Russia has always been, while we go like this up and down through our little cycles, right? We're up here. Russia's always been down here since the 90s, just barely getting by. Barely getting by. And that's, you know, they're used to it. But they're going to retaliate at some point. At some point, Putin is going to say, you know what, had it. Right? And then the West is going to go, see, we told you Russia's bad, but look at what is being done to Russia. Right? And I don't pretend that Russia is completely innocent. Please. Right? Please. I'm not that naive. I'm not naive in that way. I'm not stupid in that way. I don't think you are either. But it's important, I think, that we understand that sabotage, attacks, and all this is being done. They're demanding war. They truly are, folks. They're demanding war. But they can't sell you and I on it. We want peace. They can't sell you and I on war. We want food, safety, health. They want us to eat bugs. They want to destroy our transportation system so that we are reduced to peasantry, walking around, right? Unbelievable. We have nothing but trouble coming. The potential for World War III is growing. The more things change, the more they're the same. These world elitists want war. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? Do you understand what they're doing domestically? They're causing war internationally, so we should all rally behind the president and the government. While they enrich themselves and enrich corporations that want to go to war, they want to send our troops over there, I'm sure, to get rid of some of the worthless population. That's what they think of us. Let's just send troops to die, and then we can all feel patriotic about the effort while we eat bugs and pedal bikes around to get to our meager little jobs, where we go through vaccination checkpoints where they want to make sure you've been jib-jabbed all day long. This is the world they have in mind for us, folks. The more things change, the more SHTF, well, the more it stays the same. They want conflict, difficulty, while they enrich themselves. Get prepared, folks, because I think things are going to get a lot worse. Not just a little bit, but a lot. I think all the evidence is pointing that way and suggesting that that's what we can expect. Crisis, never let a good crisis go to waste, says Rahm Emanuel, saying out loud what we've all seen these people do. And not just for decades or even my lifetime, but they've continued to do this for, folks, centuries. They create strife and then they enrich themselves on it. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a prepper? Stay tuned. I got more interesting things to share with you. I'll see you in a bit.